two answers to that question. The first is that it is very, very difficult, and you have to dedicate a large proportion of your life to trying to win an Olympic medal. God, let alone to actually get there, you know, it's tough. And that means finding a range close by, being able to train as regularly as you can, whether that's once a week, 6 times a week. It's dependent on your situation, circumstances. You said 15, 16-year-olds, typically they'll still be at school, and therefore you're having to mix in school, exams, and training. But if I was to answer your question more directly, or probably less directly, but I'd certainly like to see a competition like the Schools Challenge, but for potential Olympians, young Olympians, people who are looking to get into the sport. So not just trying to shoot sporting, but trying to shoot Olympic trap, Olympic ski, Olympic double trap, and to give people a flavour, because it's very, very difficult to actually know what it's like without having tried it. And that was why when I left school, I tried skeet trap and double trap, and I just enjoyed double trap, and that was why I stuck at it. I think had I had the opportunity to try it a little earlier, that would have made my life a great deal easier. So, Dave, if you're watching this, I'd like to see you, I'd like to see you embrace the Olympic disciplines and allow these kids to have a crack at all three. And it's tough. They're going to miss a lot of targets. You have to learn to miss before you learn to hit. I think that all of these domestic disciplines are fantastic, a great leader to the Olympics. Let's not forget that there are only a few people who actually are professional shooters in this country, and in large proportion they're Olympic shooters. They're paid by the government to shoot at the highest possible level and ultimately win Olympic medals, gold medals. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start at a domestic level, whether that be down the line, sporting, to pick a few, and hopefully work your way through those disciplines and to dabble with an Olympic discipline. It's very difficult to having never shot before to suddenly come into an Olympic discipline and excel. You typically work your way through a domestic discipline and then choose to make the jump to an Olympic discipline. And it is tough. It's grueling. You miss a lot. I did, and it's horrible. And a lot of people come and a lot of people go. And it's only the real nutters, the real diehard fans, the people who really, really want to run the risk of not winning an Olympic medal, because so few people do. And that's in every sport. So it's tough. That's why I love the Olympic Games, because it is so difficult. And I was just fortunate that it all came together for me on the day. And it could have so easily fallen apart. I missed a double right at the end. Who was to say that I wasn't going to go on and lose that competition? Thankfully, it worked for me on the day. But that's sport. That's Olympic sport. It's grueling. It's horrible. It's brilliant. It's fantastic, and I love it. So I started shooting sporting when I was about 14. And when I say shooting sporting, I mean sort of straw balers, local farm shoots. Through to 16 years old, I was shooting competitions locally at Purbeck, Poddymoor, Southern Counties, Wiley Valley, etc., and a bit further afield. And then at the age of 19, having left school, I decided that I was going to have a crack at one of the Olympic disciplines. So I shot all three. I shot skeet and trap at Cheddar with Wesley, and then I went on to shoot a bit of double trap at Bisley. And I just loved it. I just fell in love with this discipline, and I just wanted to carry on shooting it. And I realized just how difficult it was. Not only was it difficult to shoot, but also difficult to find a range that would put it on for me. So I had to argue and hassle Kevin Newton at Southern Counties, who eventually gave in and put it on. And I don't think he ever took it off again. So, I don't think it would be. I think it would be wrong of me to sit here and say that it's really easy. It's not easy. It's really difficult. Whether you want to get into shooting or go on to win an Olympic medal, there's no real easy stepping stone. It's hard. Anyhow, getting back to the point, I eventually persuaded, as I said, Kevin Newton at Southern Counties, and I was 19, and I shot for about 6 months before going to the European Championships. I shot my junior qualifying score, qualified for Great Britain quite quickly, and went on to win gold. I didn't shoot particularly well. I was fortunate that the field was possibly not quite what it is now. It is particularly difficult now. The Russians, the Chinese, the Italians, the Americans, and I can say many, many more, have put a huge amount of time and money into Olympic sports, and now it is difficult, very difficult, to win medals at the very highest level. So I won this European medal, that qualified me for funding, so I was suddenly paid to shoot clays. This was a new one for me, and I sort of went from strength to strength. That doesn't mean that it was all easy going. I lost my funding in 2009 and regained funding in 2010, and went on to win in London. Lots more, hurdles, but it would take forever to babble on about them now. In reality, I wanted to be the best I could be. I didn't necessarily set out to win an Olympic gold medal. That would have been lovely, and that was obviously a goal in my mind. I wanted to win an Olympic gold medal and set a world record, but I also just wanted to be the best I could be. And I wasn't sure how good that was, having never really competed on the world stage before. So I set out to be the best I possibly could, and as a result, I made sacrifices. Parties, time, I think, is the biggest one, because and that covers things like parties, of course, but spending time with your family and friends, you lose touch with a lot of people, and I didn't like that, but I was prepared to sacrifice that part of my life to try and win the Olympics.
And for you it worked.
For me it worked, but it doesn't work for everyone, and that's, I think, really quite sobering. So I know a lot of fantastic shots, fantastic athletes, people who put themselves through hell to try and win the ultimate prize and haven't yet achieved that. And that's sport, as I said earlier. I was 25. I started shooting when I was 19. I started shooting double trap when I was 19. And by the age of 25, I was Olympic champion and world record holder. It came together for me. That doesn't make me any better than anybody else. It just means that it worked for me on that day. And I sacrificed, like everyone else, sacrificed time and everything else. That's what you have to remember. And I think that's why, for me, I love the Olympics. It's difficult, and I keep saying that because it really is. If it was easy, we'd all be Olympic gold medalists.